Welcome, welcome, welcome. Got the light in my glasses reflection just to get that out of the way. My microphone. What's up, kids? Welcome to the Mad Society live mastermind session. I'm going to make real quick. Let me make sure my producer. Hey. Yeah, looks like that's working. Just like doing a concert, you have to check and make sure everything's working before you can play for the audience. If you don't know, look, there we go. Now everyone's in. We've got a lot of people in the live chat. So if you're in the live chat, what's up? I'm looking at YouTube's new logo, and it looks incredible. Kind of shocked me this morning when I saw it. But now I'm in love with the new layout and the new design. So welcome, everyone. It's August 29th. 2017. This year is, we say this every year, this year is blowing by, man. It's crazy how fast it goes. We're going to let everyone get into the room. Usually takes about 2-3 minutes for it to fill up. We've got well over 20 people in now, and it's still climbing. So we'll let everyone get in the room, and then we'll begin. To start things off, if you've never viewed one of these, if you're new, we have a lot of new people. So what's up? Welcome. This is how we do it. If you're watching a replay, hello from the past. But what we do is I normally start off, I'm going to talk about a few things, just some things that are on my mind. Then I'm going to talk about the 3X optimization system, part 2. And now that I'm looking back at it and after working with everyone over the last few weeks, I've seen that I need to update it because there's some information you need that's not there right now. And then we're going to answer the questions that were posted in the forum. And then if there is time, and only if there is time, we'll answer live questions from the live chat. So that's how it works. It looks like we've got everyone in the room now, so cool. As I said, welcome, madsociety.net. I don't take it lightly that you guys are members. And while we're not the biggest forum in the industry, for sure, I think we've got one of the coolest and most interesting families in the entire industry. And my job is I want to help each and every one of you make money, learn the game, know why things aren't working, see what you're doing wrong, and help you get to the next level, man. That's what it's all about. It's not about going from $0 to $1 million instantly. It's about going from 0 to 100, then from 100 to 200, then from 200 to 400 profit, and then from 400 to 800, and on and on and on. So I'm proud of everyone that's sticking with it. A lot of people come in, they don't make $1 million in the first month, so they cancel, they want a refund, they get pissed off and say that affiliate marketing is dead at work, and they just are missing the boat, really. Okay, so let's get into it. First of all, I heard something really cool today that helped me, and I think it'll help you guys too, and I'll share it briefly. And that is, I heard an interview, it was about what was your #1 tip for success or something like that. And normally I don't like those kind of questions, but this guy gave a great answer. He said, enjoy the journey and enjoy being who you wanted to be. Like in his case, he was a famous musician. And what he realized was even when he became a famous musician, he then realized that didn't make him as happy as he thought it would. So he became miserable. And now he had accomplished his dream, and he was miserable, and there was nowhere to go. So he had to set a new goal. Like maybe I should be in movies or something, or maybe I should quit music and go hiking in the mountains. And the general idea, what he was saying was, enjoy today. Like in a weird, and this sounds a little frou-frou, but I'm serious, if I can word it right. Even if you haven't made $1 million yet, you can be happy that you're making more money online than 99% of the world. If you're earning $1 a day, you're doing better than 99% of people in the world that try. So if that's where you are, but you're not, you think you should be making millions, you'll be miserable. But you've got to feel good about making this thing work at all, because it's a slow game of putting the pieces together. And the reason you're only making a little bit of money right now is because you're new. You don't know what you're doing. It's like if you opened a dentist shop, it'd be slow in the beginning. Doctor's office. You have to find customers. You have to figure, oh, I can advertise on this TV station. Then you find another TV station that's even cheaper, and then word of mouth starts to spread. And by year 3 or something, you're killing it. But those first few years are brutal. the good thing about affiliate marketing is you can get through that process in less than a year. You can go from a newbie, knows nothing, making $0, and a year later you can have quit your job and be on your path to doing whatever the hell you want to do. But you have to enjoy every step of the way. So even if you're not where you think you're supposed to be right now, here's the trick. Let's say tomorrow you made $1 million. Let's say next month you made $1 million. You'll be happy for about 3 weeks. You'll pay off your bills, and that's a relief. But then you're going to be sitting there going, man, I thought I was going to be happy. And it might not make you happy. And then you're going to go, well, now what? Now I guess I'll try drugs, right? That's why so many rich people are on heroin and cocaine, because they're not enjoying having it. So no matter where you are in the game, try to enjoy where you are and realize that even if you haven't gotten rich and you're learning, get energized about that. I'm learning. You're learning a skill that can make more money than just about any other occupation that there is, other than, movie star or music star. You're on path. So feel good. Try to feel good about it. It's a huge thing. It sounds really frou-frou and whatever, but it's very, very true. And it's coming from a guy like me. I didn't believe in any of that stuff, but feeling good every step of the way will help propel you forward. So just keep going. Stick with it. I was a disaster my first month as well. I was horrible. I drove my affiliate manager crazy, and him the dumbest questions ever. Why isn't this working? It's a scam. It's a scam. And they just kept telling me, no, you just suck. Like, you are not good at this. There are thousands of people making money with this exact offer. The problem is you. The problem is you. The problem is you. And it finally sunk in. Like, oh, they're not being mean. They're helping me. And then my whole game changed. So try to remember that, because it's helpful and it'll keep you going. Now, I want to talk, before we get into the questions, I want to talk more about the 3X optimization system. This is a post that I have in the forum that I'd say 80% of everyone in the forum is using right now. Some people are finding success with it, people not. And so I wanted to talk about the second half of the 3X optimization system. Because where I left off was you just pick the 3 offers, run 3, choose 1, and scale it into millions of dollars of profits, right? That doesn't always happen. Just because you've launched the 3X optimization system doesn't mean that you're going to end up with a huge amount of profits. In fact, you could get to the end of it and be in the hole. Maybe none of the campaigns work. And in that case, you don't stick to the losing campaign, which is the default that your brain wants to do. Like, I've invested all this time. Sometimes at the end of the 3X optimization, you have to start over. Sometimes it's just a process of finding out what doesn't work. Like, you might launch 3 campaigns, one loses less than the others, so you try it and it doesn't work. So what do I do now? I'm screwed. No, just launch 3 more. You know what I mean? There's no guarantee that because you chose 3 offers that one of them is going to work. So don't get hung up and stuck if the best offer out of your first launch doesn't work, because there are 100 other campaigns you can try, and you should try. Now, I'm going to also recommend the reverse of what I just said. The 3X optimization system is not a guaranteed way for you to get rich on one campaign. Let's say you launch 3, you pause 2, and you scale 1 into profitability. You run a desktop in the US. You go from losing 100 a day to making 300 a day. And after a few weeks, you've optimized it. It's steady, but it won't seem to grow. Okay, that doesn't mean affiliate marketing doesn't work. That just means you've reached that campaign's potential. You've reached the limit. That's as far as it's going to go. You've either optimized out so many widgets that the volume is now lower, or something's happened that it's just a smaller campaign. Not every campaign is $1 million campaign. Some campaigns are a $500 a day campaign. Some campaigns are a $25 a day campaign. Some campaigns are a $25,000 a day campaign. The idea is to keep creating campaigns after you get to the end of the 3X optimization system and continue building your suite of campaigns on Rev Content. And for example, here's a campaign I'm running right now. I launched 3, I paused 2, and I scaled the 1, right? I started optimizing the 1 on desktop in the US. It was spending somewhere around $1,500 a day, losing money. So as widgets slowly were optimized out, it got down to where now it's spending about $500 a day, but it's profiting about $400 a day. So it's making $400 profit a day. Is that gonna make me retire? Hell no. So the next step after I get to the end of the potential for this campaign, whether it's $0 a day or it's still losing money or it's making some money or it's making a lot of money, at some point you'll reach its end. And your job there is to scale. So for this campaign, I reached US desktop $400 a day profit. Okay, nothing to write home to mom about, but it's nice to have. So the next step was launch the same campaign in the same geo on mobile. And I ran it for about 6-7 days, saw that one operating system was doing best. I think it was iOS. So I paused Android. That's the only optimization I made. And I bid accordingly so that iOS was going to be close to profitable. And then Drive optimized out bad widgets and it became profitable. So the next step was to go back and look at the Android campaign and see if there was any potential inside of it. And I saw that there was potential by going through volume and just looking for streams of green. Was there anywhere in this campaign that gives it a shot, yes or no? If everything's red, forget it. But if there's streams of green in there, give it a shot. And I launched a new campaign. Same offer, same everything. Same US, but this was mobile Android. And that's its own campaign. So now I have 3 campaigns running. Next step, US tablet, all operating systems. And I did the exact same thing. I saw that one operating system was doing better, so I paused the other. I optimized the best one. Then I went back and reopened up the loser and optimized it. And then this whole time, I've also got retargeting pixels on the campaign. So I'm running US desktop. This is, to me, is one campaign, one suite. It's one vertical, one offer. But there's a US desktop where I started. It was profitable. So I went to mobile and then to tablet. So I've got the US desktop making money. I've got mobile iOS making money. I've got mobile Android making money. I've got tablet iOS making money. I've got tablet Android making money. And I've got a retargeting campaign making money. See what I'm saying? That's 6 campaigns under really one offer. That's how I scaled it inside of Rev Content. And now it's making thousands of dollars a day profit. So what do? Now I'm kind of tapped out on Rev Content. I can't really scale it anymore there. And it doesn't accept other geos. So now about a week ago, maybe last week it was, I dropped it on Taboola using the same ads, same landing pages, same angles. I stuck it on Taboola, onto their network, and I hooked it up to Drive, and it's going to slowly auto-optimize out their bad placements. And that's going to take some time. When I was making money over here on Rev Content, when I dropped it on Taboola, desktop US, starting over completely, it was losing. I put the budget at 200 a day to start, and it was losing 200 every day, while Taboola's bot traffic and garbage sites hit me with traffic. But slowly, it's been running maybe 5 days now. It's making money or breaking even every day. As soon as it gets to where it's stabilized, breaking even or making money, I'll boost the budget. And then when that reaches its end, I'm going to put Taboola mobile campaign. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to start looking for operating systems, which one's best. Then I'm going to scale it to tablet and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm going to set up a retargeting, the whole thing. Because I think the reason I stress this is I think a lot of people think that they can launch 3 campaigns, pause the 2 worst ones, and then this one US desktop or whatever campaign, this one campaign is going to make 10,000 a day. That's not how it works. That's the dream, maybe. Sometimes that will work, but most of the time, anybody that I've known, and even Peter's thread about the whitelist campaign, notice he said that was a way to make $100 a day profit. That's what a whitelist campaign does. When he scaled it to 10,000 a day, he had like 15 different campaigns running, 10 different campaigns running, different verticals, all kinds of stuff. So you have to continuously keep growing the campaign in whatever way you can, and accept the fact that maybe your US desktop campaign is going to top out at 200 a day profit. That's not a terrible thing. Just move on to the next device and move on to the next device and move on to the next thing, or geos or whatever you feel like doing. But the goal with Rev Content isn't normally to have one campaign that's just making a ton of profits. You're usually going to end up with 5 to 10 to even 15 campaigns running at a time. And I definitely want to stress that because people are getting frustrated and quitting if their first campaign doesn't work. It's like, dude, you just started to scratch the surface of this campaign. You know what I mean? You didn't try mobile. You didn't try different mobile operating systems. You didn't test tablet. You didn't test different tablet operating systems. You didn't set up a retargeting campaign. You didn't test it on Taboola. What are you talking about? It's over. I could probably take it and have it making money, the kind of money that you wish you could make, in a month. It'd take me about 30 days to have it scaled all the way out, maybe 60 days. But I've done it a million times. But for those of you that haven't, I just want to pound it into your mind. Remember, if the first campaign that you're running doesn't work, don't sweat it. Optimize it as best you can and then move on. And if moving on means stopping everything and starting from scratch and launching 3 more or 4 more or whatever, do that. If something's working but it's not making enough money, scale it to other devices, scale it to other geos, scale it to other traffic sources. And you can grow your net profits at the end of the day that way. Does that make sense? I hope so. I really hope that makes sense. I've realized I need to probably write an update to the 3X optimization system because I thought people would understand that that was just the first step. You might have to do 2, 3, 5, 6 rounds of those before you find a really big winner. Or it might be on your first trio of campaigns. You just never know. But the concept is just to never quit until you get there. Just because your desktop campaign's tapped out at 400 a day doesn't mean that this offer can only make you 400 a day. It means that's one egg in your basket. You know what I mean? You've got a $400 egg in the basket, US desktop. Now let's go fill up the basket. Oh, mobile, Android, that one's making 500 a day. Oh, mobile, iOS, that one's making 200 a day. You know, now you're at like 1,600 a day. Then you get to go to tablet and try that. Then you go drop it on to now it's making 800 a day. And you'll end up with like 8,000, 12,000 a day profit, but you've got 15 campaigns running. And so don't get too stuck on one campaign, on one device, in one geo. If you've been optimizing it for a long time and it stops improving, don't beat yourself up like, how do I make this launch into millions of dollars of profit? Don't worry about that. Launch more campaigns. Launch another vertical completely. I'd say right now on Rev Content, I had up until about 5 days ago, I had maybe 19 or 20 campaigns running on Rev Content. And I unfortunately having to pause 2 of the verticals because they just weren't, I had to be realistic. They were losing money. My main one was making a lot of money. These were losing money. I paused them all. Then I went back and looked at any one of them that might have potential, and I opened up like 1. Because what you don't want to run into is where you have 7 profitable campaigns and then 14 campaigns losing money, you know. So if you find yourself in that position, pause everything that's not making money and then slowly start adding things back one at a time and testing it. And might work out better for you. So I hope that makes sense. It's 3:20. I wanted to definitely stress that. And I hope that helps a few of you. It looks like Sarah and Kevin in the comments are saying thank you and that was super helpful. Okay, cool. Glad. And I'll find some time to post an update to that in the forum as well. Because I don't want you to get stuck and frustrated, then go back to a 9-to-5 job that you hate. That's not the goal. I want everybody to make it. So that being said, speaking of making it, let's see if we can make it through some of these questions. Log into or pull up the Mad Society question thread, and we're just going to start from the top and work our way down. And actually, I'm going to get a drink real quick because this is an hour of me talking, so I need to get some water. Hang on. All right, cool. Yeah, my throat starts to get dry about halfway through these things. All right. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Where are we at the 22-minute mark? Let's see if we can knock these out. Thanks everyone for the questions. Always interesting to hear what's on your mind. I want to refresh the page and see if we've got any new ones. Oh, we do. Yeah. A lot of people post questions like 5 minutes before we start. I see you. I see you sneaking them in there. All right, first one. Hey, Malin. Could you give a brief update on your How to Run a Blacklist campaign Mad Letter? Is this the exact same process that you would use today to start a Rev Content campaign? Yes. I would have to read the blacklist campaign mad letter again, but I haven't changed anything as far as launches go. The only difference is that now, and me being me, I have a better nest egg. I can afford to lose some money. So if you have a small budget, this probably won't help you. But if you have the tolerance to lose some money, I've been adding more than one topic at a time. I've launched like 3, 4 at a time. If they're gigantic topics, I keep it modest, 1 or 2, like the one with 6 million views a day or whatever it is, 2 million. But if they're the smaller ones, like if you scroll down to the bottom of the topics in Rev Content, you'll see that there are some that only have like 30,000 impressions a day. And don't sleep on those, because some of those make money. They won't make a lot of money, but some of them have very, very high ROI. So if you scroll down there, if there's like 30,000 impressions a day, 200,000 impressions a day, 600,000 impressions a day, I might add 6 of them at a time. So that's really the only difference. Instead of adding one topic at a time, I'm doing multiple. It just speeds up the game for me. I lose more money up front, but it speeds up the learning process. One thing I noticed is that your campaign was pretty much break even from day one. Is this typical? No, not at all. But I am better at it. I'd say I give myself a better chance than you guys probably do, because I'm able to I really work up front to verify that an offer is working. I will spend more time ensuring that an offer is working than I will on the launch. Launching a campaign is not a skill. Once you know how to make an ad and upload it and put in a URL, that's it. Like, that's not a skilled thing to do. Choosing an offer intelligently that has a good chance of working for you, that takes skill, it takes time. So I invest a lot of time up front verifying things are working. I'll talk to people on the phone. I'll talk to people on Skype. I'll talk to other affiliates. I'll talk to my affiliate managers, and I'll verify it with Spy Tools, Adplexity, and make 100% sure that it's running right now on the same traffic source. Because if you mess up offer selection, you're screwed. You can't optimize a bad offer into profitability. You can optimize a bad campaign with a great offer into profitability, sure, but can't optimize a crappy campaign and a bad offer into profits. So I would say that typically they don't break even or make a profit from day one, but I give myself a pretty good chance at that happening. About, maybe 6, 7 times out of 10, it'll work like that. But a lot of people will skip that research process because they just want to launch a campaign. I want to start clicking buttons and being an optimization specialist. That's all ego kind of BS. That's the fun stuff. The important stuff is the research before you start the campaign. If you don't know 100% sure, that's why I tell people on the forum all the time. They'll say, hey, I've spent $4,000 on this campaign. I've lost 1,000. And I'm just going to stick with it because I believe in myself. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Failure is not something to be proud of. Losing money here is not the goal. It's a part of the early process. But if you're losing a ton of money and you didn't really pick a good offer, I tell people to just stop. Like, they'll say, I've lost 2,000. I've spent 4. I'm doing it, man. I'm on my way. Like, okay. How did you choose the offer? Well, I just picked it out. I'm running, and I'm just going to make it because I believe in myself, and I'm hustling, and I'm not sleeping. It's like, dude, I hate to say this, but turn it off. Eat the losses. Start over and do it right. People get mad, but it's true. Yeah, so I put a lot of time into the picking winning offers, ads, and landers. And most of that is already existing out there, and then I'll just launch them, find the best one, and then improve it. There isn't a lot I can find about optimizing creatives in the process. Okay, here's the thing with creative ad optimizations on Rev Content. Here's a piece of info. Their system will do the work for you. If you upload 10 ads, Rev Content will usually choose a couple and run them. That's because they're good ads. The other ads are terrible. And what I've been doing lately is, if an ad spends 2 times offer payout and there's no revenue, I'll pause it. I'll do it manually right now. I actually recommended it to Drive as a new feature because I think it's important. It's as important as the widget optimizations. I'd like to see an ad. If it spends 2 times the offer payout, just kill it. But they don't have that, so I do it myself right now. So if you upload 10 ads, you're running an offer that pays $10, and let's say 4 of the ads got the majority of the traffic, and 3 of them they've all spent $10, let's say, a piece. Let's say they each spend $20. And one of the ads has 4 conversions and the rest don't have anything. Let's say one has 4, one has 1, and then the other 2 don't have any. I would pause the 2 that didn't have any. Just pause them. Just get rid of them. They're bad ads. If they were good ads, they would have made some money. So that's a rule I have for ad optimizations. But it's really a hands-off approach, man. You should not be worrying about your ads multiple times a day. It's a autopilot situation where your job is to upload the ads, wait for them to spend 2 times the offer payout or whatever metric you're cool with. I'm doing 2 times right now. Some people do 1, some people do 3. I'm doing 2 right now. And if it spends that much without making a single sale, pause it. If it has a sale but it's losing money, keep it. That's what I do. And then I'm very sparing about uploading new ads. Lately, I ran into a situation where I was uploading ads like crazy, trying to come up with a new angle or a new ad that would keep the campaign going. But what I realized I was doing was I was just uploading ads that were losing money every day. And when I stopped uploading the bad ads and just said, okay, I've got 2 good ads, let me just let them run, magically the profits appeared. Now that I'm out of the way, like I say, 8 times out of 10, you're the problem. I'm the problem. I'm in the way. Once I just say, okay, Malin, you've tested 1,000 ads. It's not getting any better. Stop testing ads. Move on to something else. Maybe test landing pages, maybe split test offers. Maybe launch a new campaign. Maybe launch on a new device. Move on with the process. If you can't beat an ad, there's a reason. It's because you've got a great ad. So leave it and move to other parts of the process. Because remember, you could take that ad that's good, that's solid, that's killing it for you, that's making money. You can move that to mobile, right? Instead of trying to get the desktop campaign to make more money, just stick with the desktop where it is and use that same ad and go to mobile. Scale it that way. And it's sometimes it will do much better than just constantly uploading new ads, trying to beat your best ad so that you'll have a fail-safe when this best ad gets banner blindness or whatever. You end up killing the profits that the good ad's making. Just let the good ad make its money. If it stops getting traffic, upload a new version of that ad. You know, it can even be the same ad sometimes. Normally you can change a word in the headline or something, it'll retake off. But don't get too stuck. Let's see. Thanks for the help. I'm 7 weeks in and I've lost $7,000. Holy shit. About 15 campaigns. Okay. Not giving up hope and persisting onwards. Hope I'm near the tipping point. You probably are. If you've spent 7 weeks, I spent my first 4 weeks, I lost 3,000. And I learned so many lessons that second month I made about 8,000. So you should start turning it around at some point. If not, you might be stuck. You might be chasing an offer that's never going to work. You might be really bad at your job, which is long pain, and then optimizing things based on the results. Or you might just there might be something up. I don't know. But if you're 7 weeks in and it's not improving, you need to really start thinking about what you're going to do. And it doesn't mean quit. It doesn't mean quit at all. It means being realistic and saying, okay, I've lost 7, I'm losing 1,000 a week. You've got to slow that down. If it's just losing every day, you've got to slow down the traffic. Because if you're losing 1,000 a week, that's you're losing like, what's that, 150 a day? I would slow the traffic down. Try to figure out why you're losing money. If it's just a dead end, try new. But normally, if you spent 7 weeks and you've been spending money every day, you're going to have data in your volume stats that can turn the campaign around. Like if I was going to help you, I would log into your volume, first of all, and I would look for the topics that were making money or the widget IDs inside of the topics that were making money. And I would start pausing topics that were losing. Like if you're on conservative news, which is a big topic, and it just doesn't seem to work, just pause it. if like religion or whatever, sports, a smaller topic is making money, just let those make money. Get yourself into, even if you're making $100 a day or $50 a day, it's way more fun to play this game when you're not losing money. It's way more fun, and you'll last much, much longer if you can just pull yourself out of the hole and allow the parts of the campaign that are making money, allow them to make money. And you might not make $1 million on your first campaign. Not a lot of people do. You might not make $1 million on your first campaign, but you'll sleep easier at night knowing, well, I'm only making $50, but I'm not losing 150. You know what I mean? So I would say if you continue losing at the rate you've always been losing, because it should be turning around. You should be losing a little less every week. If not, really dig into stats, see if you can find some dead losers, things that just they're too far gone to turn around. And it's hard to do. But if one of the big topics is just losing money for you every day and there's no sign of hope inside of it, just turn it off. Accept that it's not working, turn it off, and keep moving forward. Because what I would say, if right now 7 weeks, 7,000, that's roughly 1,000 a week. Next week, let's say today's Tuesday, if you lose 1,000 this week again, you've really got to get a hold on yourself. You gotta live in reality. Unless you have a couple $1 million you're sitting on, you're not going to be able to afford to lose this much for much longer. 7,000 is not a small amount of cash. Take the data you've bought, make some very smart decisions, and turn the campaign into a profitable campaign, even if that means sacrificing traffic volume. Okay? And I'm saying this to you, and it's something I say to myself all the time. Every campaign might not be the biggest giant campaign. Sometimes a campaign is a $100 a day campaign. Sometimes a campaign is a $500 a day campaign. So my plea, my prayer for you is that you'll dig through your data, find some profitable streams. If there's not anything profitable in there anywhere, turn the campaign off. You got to rethink things. But I'm going to guess that there's going to be some topic or like an ad that's doing way better than everything else. And in that case, turn off the worst parts of the campaign and just allow those good parts to make you some money. And don't worry about I've got to make back that 7K. You might not make back that 7K immediately. You might make $100 a day for the next 2 weeks and then it stops. That's okay. You just launch more campaigns and over time, you'll cover all of your losses. But just live in reality. I think everyone fetishizes losing and failure too much. Like failure is part of the process, but it's not something to be proud of. Like, I'm losing money. I'm losing. I'm really losing money now. I've got to be right on the verge because I'm losing so much money. Anyone can lose money. It's very easy to lose money online. The goal is you lose money in the beginning to learn, and then you make improvements based on those learnings, and then you go out of the hole. If you're not out of the hole, rethink things. I hope that helps, and I hope you don't think I'm being an asshole here. I'm just trying to give you some brutal, true, honesty information that you can actually use. My job isn't to coddle you guys; it's to help you losing money and start making money. And sometimes the fastest way to do that is to say, "Hey, snap out of it." We need people to snap us out of these things. So I hope that helps, man. That was a lot of info I just dumped on your 4 questions. So I hope that helps. If so, hit me up in the comments, say thanks or whatever. And if not, you can post follow-up questions there and I'll try to get to them as well. So let's move on to the next. Eileen, what's happening? Running the campaign for a month, lost 3,000. Okay, that's exactly what I did. Yeah, sounds familiar. Campaign did pretty well until I asked for a payout bump. He required 4 times more traffic conversions per day. So she increased her budgets too fast and broke the campaign. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, if you try to make a giant change like that all at once, it's either going to work or it's not. And, I'd say the majority of the time it's not, because you kind of just screw with the system's brain. So after 2 weeks of terrible losses, I put on the brakes. Good call. I would have stopped at a week, but whatever. Now working hard to get it back on track, and it's finally having some green days again, and she's doing 78% ROI today. Great. Okay, so I love that. That's really good. You did something, you made a mistake, you got greedy, you wanted that payout bump, so you thought, I'm just going to blast them with traffic, and then you lost tons of money. So in your quest to make more money with the higher payout, you lost a bunch of money. So that's a valuable lesson. Write that down in a journal and remember this. Burn it into your, tattoo it on your hand if you have to. Write it on your mirror and lipstick and look at it every day. Don't go too fast. You're only running one topic, blocking or whitelisting widgets, and you have some concerns. Okay. So she had a campaign working, scaled it too fast, broke it, and now she's fixed it, it's stabilized, and she has some questions. She keeps adding, testing images and headlines for the angle to avoid burnout, but nothing seems to stick. It all converts, but the CTRs, the best ad still converts, but CTR is dropping more and more. So I need to find new winners. Okay. How often and how many ads should I add in to test? Okay. I kind of just talked about this, but I want to talk about it again because you capitalize the word need. Like you have an ad that's making money, but you feel like that it's going to burn out. So you're desperate to find new winning ads. But while you're trying to find new ads, you're really just losing money. And this is the scenario I just talked about. If you've seriously tested an ad, they're all losing money, that means you can't beat that ad. You've got a fantastic ad. Instead of trying to beat it and worrying about it burning out, I would move on to another part of the process. You have the ad figured out. That's the best ad. So now, if you haven't split test several different styles of landing pages, that's what you do. Go there. If you haven't tested multiple offers, try testing multiple offers. Or add in another topic. You're only running one topic. You should have already added a couple more topics. If you have that ad running and it's working really well, add another topic or two. If it makes you feel more comfortable, add small ones. Like go scroll at them and look at this, not the smallest ones. Some of them are pointless. But in about the lower third, there are some decent topics you can add. Or you could move on. Now you have a great ad and you're making money. So scale by using a topic. Stop worrying about the ad. Now is the time to scale. Topics, devices, geos, other networks, all that kind of stuff. How does Rev Content's algorithm favor ad? Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, those kind of questions I don't worry about. I don't know exactly how the Rev Content algorithm works because right when you think you have it figured out, it changes. So don't worry about trying to figure out exactly how many days an ad can run before losing steam and stuff like that. Just if the ad's working, cool. If it's making money, cool. Move to another part of the process. If you tried to beat it and you can't beat it, just move on. Should I be testing multiple landing pages and offers at the same time as testing ads or not? So no, I wouldn't continue testing ads right now. I would move on from the ads and I would test multiple landing pages if you haven't already. Actually, if you haven't already tested multiple offers, I would do that first. That would be the next step I would do if I was you. Instead of uploading new ads, split test the offers. That could be the same offer on different networks. It could be the same vertical, different types of offers. Give it a test, see what can happen. And the same rule is in effect. If you can't beat that first offer, don't get caught up trying to beat it. Just move on to the next part, which would be landing pages. Then once you do some landing page testing, if you find that you can't beat your best landing page, don't worry about it and keep trying to find a new landing page. Just on to the next part of the process, which would be more topics. And then once you max out on topics, don't worry about trying to add back topics that didn't work. Move on to the next device because now you have a lot of information. You know the ad that works, you know the landing page that works, you know the offer that works, you know the topic that works. So now port that to the same geo on mobile. Run both devices, run all devices for a week, 5 days, something like that. And then if needed, pause the bad operating systems for mobile. Like if Windows is losing money and Android is losing money, but iOS is making money, make that campaign an iOS only campaign. And then optimize it, add topics as far as you can go there. And then, tablet. And then when you max out all that, try a different geo. And then once you max out all geos, go to another network, Taboola, Content on Ad, Outbrain, something like that. Don't get stuck trying to beat an element of your campaign. If you've given it a real try and you can't beat it, that doesn't mean anything. That just means move on to the next. Go for it. So I think I just answered the last part of your question. What point do I test for geo versus offers on now? I would say now. First test offers, then test your landing pages, then start adding topics, and then start adding devices, and then start testing other networks. Or actually, you could go to geos there and then start testing other networks, because you can stay on Rev content for a long time. You can end up with, if your offer accepts multiple international countries, like a lot of them, you could have 100 campaigns running on Rev content for that one offer if it accepts worldwide traffic, because you would have Canada desktop, Canada mobile, Canada tablet iOS, Canada tablet Android. Then you would go to the UK desktop, UK mobile, UK, and over and over and over and over again. And when you get to where you're running like 20 campaigns, you're not going to be able to optimize each one of them every day, and that's a good thing. Like at some point, you'll learn to just release it. Like let that campaign run. It hasn't made money for 3 days. You know, you might start to eyeball it and go, maybe I need to weigh in on this. But many times, as you move on to other campaigns, you'll notice that the first campaigns you were running will be fine without your help. And that's a big mental lesson to run. Your campaign does not need you. We're not scientists, and we're not doctors. We don't need to be hands-on. Our job is to our job is to research the campaign correctly, launch the campaign correctly, optimize and scale it as far as it can go, and then move on to the next thing, either scaling it somewhere else or into another country or to another offer. Just keep going forward, and you can't be caught up on one campaign. You know, it's not bad to have one campaign your first month just so you can learn what you're doing. Now that you know, maybe this is a campaign that's just going to make you 80% ROI every day. Maybe now you need to move on to the next phase. So I hope that helps. I kind of covered all of that in the previous question. Been wondering how your blacklist posts would have looked if you were facing a lot more trouble in the process. What are typical problems every affiliate will meet while optimizing and scaling, and how do you solve them? Well, that's an impossible. There's so many things and so many different answers. It's all really campaign dependent. So I hope what I have given you there as an answer helps you. If not, as always, follow up in the comments to this thread, or you can send me a direct message. If it's private, like if you guys have personal private details that you can't share with the group, you can send it to me in a message and I'll help you there. But don't send me questions that you can post in my direct messages, or I get too many and then I won't be able to continue doing it. So if you're like, hey, I want to know what's a good tracker, post that in the forum, you know. But if it's like, hey, I'm running this specific campaign, I don't want to post it in public, that's what the personal messages are for. And I'm happy to help. I've been helping a lot of people in the personal messages, and it's been going really well, because they're able to show me like, okay, here's my volume stats, here's what the ads that I'm using, you know, the things that if they posted them in the community, they could get stolen or borrowed, or someone might launch the same campaign. Not that's even a bad thing, but you know, we want to keep our campaigns somewhat private. Totally. So let's move on to the next one. I hope that helps, Eileen. Love it. Thank you for being a member. It's been a blast working with you in the direct messages. Okay, so here's a question from Brett. When looking for an offer to run, is it a good idea to go really broad with different verticals or stay within related stuff? He says he's never... Oh, okay, here's the problem. He bought a course, and the course told him to pick one vertical and stick with it. So even when looking for new offers, he's been in the habit of only going after and testing one vertical of offers. And that's a bad idea, man. I understand what the person you bought the course from is talking about. Like if you launch auto insurance, I'm just making up a campaign. If you launch auto insurance and you're making $8,000 a day, you're going to quickly become an expert at auto insurance. So it makes sense that if you're going to run other campaigns, they should probably be auto insurance campaigns, you know? The problem is that should only apply if you're making tons of money in that vertical. Then you can become an expert in that vertical, and you can just continue to scale it all over the world. Or I guess once you understand that audience, you could take the same car insurance demographic and ads, that way of thinking, and apply it to like a car paint service. Like you already know what kind of gets car people going. That makes sense to me. But I do not run in one vertical always. I have certain verticals that I've been running for a long time, and I'm an expert in them now, but I'm always launching new stuff. And you should always be launching until you find your $1 million campaign. If you find one, stick with it, obviously. But if you're not, keep looking. I know guys that are running like EDU offers, credit report offers, refinance offers, diabetes offers. They're running like 5, 6 different things, and they're making tremendous amounts of money. So no, I understand what he's saying to pick one vertical and be an expert, but if you find like a super money-making vertical, anything. I run anything. Doesn't matter what the vertical is, run anything. How important is it to stick with a vertical? I wouldn't stick. I've never been a vertical, and I guarantee you this, the person who sold you the book on or the course that said that with one vertical, I'm guaranteeing you they've run more than one vertical in their career. They have to. There's no one that I know that can be in one vertical forever, unless you own the offer. Like if you own a car insurance offer, obviously you're going to get affiliates and you're going to be in the same vertical forever. But as an affiliate, you're like a spider web. Like you just want to be attracting money from as many different directions as you can. So I would say no, don't stick with one vertical unless you're killing it with it. And then obviously, yes. Let's see, 3:50. We got about 10 minutes left. We're going to burn through these questions. Eileen is saying, thank you so much again for your input. Great show. You're welcome. Thanks for your question. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. We got Rob, my man Kevin, my man Jay. Says it's true, not being happy kills profits because you're trying to be happy through perfection, through perfecting the profit generation, and perfection is poverty. It's a good line. Perfection is poverty. We've got Nicholas. What's up, Nicholas? Just joined yesterday. Cool, man. Glad to have you. We got Rob Saunders, my brother from another mother, is in the house. We've got Ron, Zanan, Amit. What's up, Amit? We got Vibe Hav. What's up, brother? We got Sarah. Shout out to Ramon. Shout out to Hayrunny. Shout out to everyone in the live chat. Great to have you guys. Absolutely love it. Happy to help. Let's move on to my man, David. He says, when is the right time to lower or increase the bids? And then he goes on to talk about a lot of other stuff. When I start on desktop with 45-cent bids, a $100 budget is spent in less than 1 hour. This way I only see data for the morning. And Okay, so if you bid 45 cents and you have a $100 budget, that's great if it's spent in an hour. That means that this is your ad. What I'd be suspicious of is how many topics do you have in there? You might be trying to start with too much data. Like if it's spending it that fast, I would guess you're either on like the top 5 topics or something. But the general question is, when is the right time to lower or increase bids? And it will be, let me put it this way. In the beginning of the campaign, you will lose money. Don't lower your bids in the beginning. I always stress that because you will definitely 100% be losing money no matter what you bid in the beginning. Because the first step of the process is weeding out bot traffic, right? I'm using driveads.com right now, and it's helping tremendously with that. When I will lower the bids is when I know I've done some heavy optimizations and gotten all the crap out of the way. I will then take a realistic look at the campaign. Like I'll look at the ad, I'll look at the topic, I'll look for green streams of traffic, and I'll find out what my best case scenario EPC is, and then I'll lower my bid to either match it or lower it a little bit under it so that I become profitable. So I would say there's not really a certain 7 days or 6 days. I would say, but after you've optimized out the obvious garbage, and that'll be the first 5, 6 days maybe, where you're getting the really bad bot traffic. After that's gone, let it run a few more days and then take a realistic look at a best case scenario. Now you got these bad widgets out of the way. Stats should improve. Take a look at the best case scenario, and then you can change your bid only if necessary. If not necessary, if you're bidding 45 cents and you're making 75, don't lower your bid. Don't get greedy. Leave it where it is. Like, one of the best pieces of advice I can give you is when a campaign's making money, don't touch it. Don't try to ramp it up. You know, if you're going to do anything, raise the budget by like a small percentage, or you risk ruining the whole thing. As Eileen said, she jumped too fast and it killed the whole campaign. This happens to everyone almost every time. If you take a campaign and try to scale it too fast, you'll go broke. It's hard to control yourself, but I highly recommend it. So yeah, that would be my recommendation. Start the bid, you're at 45 cents. It's blasting through your budget. That means you have a ton of topics and ton of bot widgets. If you're running on a lot of topics, turn them down. Turn a few off. Turn the worst 2 off. Then let the crap weed out, or you're going to manually weed out the widgets if you don't use Drive to automate it. And then take a look at the best case scenario and change your bid accordingly to either break even or just under it so you can make a little profit, and then continue optimizing. And then the second part of the question is, how do you structure your workday? What is the most important task? The most important task is making campaigns, launching new campaigns. And the least important task is checking your stats and changing bids based on today's results. And he asked this question about what's the most important thing to do, because letting the machines do the work is boring and it feels unproductive. And that's good. Productivity is a lie in affiliate marketing in a lot of ways. Your goal should not be to be productive. Your goal should be to make money. Productivity and motivation and inspiration, it's all BS. At this point, you should have a general understanding of what productivity means. You need to, write down the things you want to get done that week. Pick 1 or 2 a day, and then sit down at your desk at some point in the day whenever you feel like working and get those couple of things done. And then don't worry about it. There's nothing else for you to do other than research new campaigns. The goal is, when you launch a campaign, don't mess with it. So if you need to feel productive, research new ideas, new campaigns. Research your tools. Talk to your affiliate manager, see what the hot new offers are. Start reviewing new opportunities for the future, because the campaign you're running right now may or may not work. And you could use that time, instead of touching your campaign and changing bids and uploading ads and that kind of stuff that we all do, I would use that time to do something hands-off. Research. Join a Facebook group and talk to people in there. Because in some ways, as a new affiliate, the more time you spend at the computer touching your campaign, the worse it's going to do. Because if you know what you're doing, your actions will help you. If you don't know what you're doing, your actions actually work against you. I was listening to a podcast with Mark Manson, the guy that wrote The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And he said the breakthrough that he made was when he realized that he was writing like 16 hours a day, sleeping 6 hours, spending 2 hours going to the bathroom and eating, and the rest of his day and night was spent writing. And he wasn't getting anywhere, and the writing was terrible, and he was having to go back and fix all this crap that he was writing. And he read somewhere about someone who, for 2 hours a day, and how it improved their writing, and he tried it. And then his book, he said it just flew out of his fingertips. And he was only working 2 hours a day, and he felt bad about it too. He was like, this can't be good. This is lazy. I need to be writing. I should be in a seat writing. But then he started to slowly realize that the nights when he would sneak in and write more, the next day he would just get rid of all that extra writing because it was terrible. He had about 2 good hours in him a day, and the book flooded out of his fingertips, he said. So don't feel bad about not being productive. I think that's kind of a bullshit concept, productivity. I think the goal it's very simple. Even though there are billions of dollars being made in productivity system and productivity apps, write down everything you need to do for this week. Put 1 or 2 things on your calendar for each day. Do them. And then if you have to be doing online marketing stuff, research new offers. Or research ad styles, read a few blogs. But remember, the whole point of being an affiliate is that you get freedom. You're not at a job where some boss is telling you like you have to be in your seat, you have to be working. Or, you know, if you work in a restaurant, they used to say if there's time to lean, there's time to clean, meaning never take a break. A good employee never takes a break. But remember, this is about freedom. So you should be happy to be able to load up your campaign, let it start collecting data, and you're at the park flying kites. You know what I mean? That's the whole goal of this thing. Don't get caught in the productivity trap, especially if it's breaking your campaigns. Like way too many people sit in their seats and just break their campaigns. So read a book, go to the park, fly a kite, research new ads, watch a movie, you know, fix your car, mow your lawn, do whatever you can do to just get away and not think about it. And the more time you spend away, in some cases, the better your campaign will do. And it sucks, but I hate to say it, but it's true. You might problem. I know I have been many, many times. I was the problem. I was so sucked into the computer that I wouldn't go anywhere. I would just sit at home and break my campaigns. Every day I would wake up and start breaking them. Let's say I woke up and there was $700 profit. That curve, instead of going up, I would wake up and right about 8 a.m. when I would start working, the profit would just die. And I could watch that curve over time like, oh my God. So it's dying at 8 a.m. and that's exactly when I start working. I stop at 4 and then the numbers go back up at 4 and you'll go, oh my God, it's me. I'm the problem, you know? And being an ego, it's a breath of fresh air. It's a breakthrough. Like, oh, it's me. Cool. I'll just go to the grocery store. I'll go to the park. I'll go read a book. Kind of cool like that. Okay, another question coming up next. I hope that helps, man. Don't read about productivity anymore. No productivity books. Everything that you need to know about productivity, you probably already know. How do you fully master native ads? All right, John Dale, that's about as general. I can't answer that, especially when a lot of times I don't even know what that means. But I'll try to answer the second question. What's your view on running native ads in other geos? Go for it. The only difference between running in the US and in other countries is the other countries will be slower and smaller. So the information will come to you slower and your profits will be smaller. Some people find it easier in the beginning. Like when I taught my brother to do affiliate marketing, he was actually in Iraq fighting the war. He was in a tent with the US Army and they had a Wi-Fi connection and he wanted to learn affiliate marketing in his spare time. And he got on Facebook and we were advertising. I told him he could do the US or international. The offer accepted all from the world. And he ended up finding success in the island of Malta. Sounds strange. There was very little traffic. I think the Facebook audience was like 10,000 people, 60,000 people, something really small. But he was printing money because they had never seen ads like that before. And so he was making, I think, like $300 or $400 a day. This is from a guy in a tent in Iraq in the army fighting a war. He was able to squeeze out $300, $400 a day in the Isle of Malta. So I think it can be beneficial if you're brand new, but it will be slower traffic and smaller profits overall. It's really the only difference. So on native, I like to start in the US and scale everywhere else, but if you're new, feel free to start internationally and try that. It'll definitely help you if you have a small budget, like you said, because like my brother, he was only spending maybe $100 a day and he was making $300 a day profit because he didn't have $1 million. He couldn't spend 10,000 a day on traffic. He couldn't do that. He could spend like 100. And he was able to do that in Malta. So, hey, if you're looking for somewhere to target on Facebook that no one's probably advertising to, try Malta. We're going to move on. How many more do we got? One. Got a couple more. Let's see if we can get them done. We're out of time going. How do you continue to discover widgets from a blacklist when bids keep escalating due to competition? Okay, your question is very strange. How do you continue to discover widgets from a blacklist when bids keep escalating due to competition, and some of the best placements are already on lockdown from another person already running the offer without blowing through your budget? Okay, well, what you've just asked is kind of it's an impossible wrapped inside of an enigma, inside of a black hole, because you want to remove all the risk and just get all the rewards somehow, and that's not how it works. What I do is I don't worry about anything that you just talked about, and I don't worry about competition or bids escalating or anything like that. What it sounds like to me is, and I hate to break it to you, but you're focusing on the small minutia of the campaign, and I would encourage you to look at the bigger picture. And if you're running a whitelist campaign and you're making money with it, drop a blacklist campaign. And if you're not happy with the whitelist campaign, you're going to have to launch a blacklist campaign, and you're going to have to find some widgets in there that you can work with. And I would disregard things like the widget IDs on lockdown, because I don't know that that's a possibility. Maybe someone's been there a long time and they have a really good ad. I would copy their ad and then bid what you can. But part of me is like, it sounds like you're fighting over a single widget ID. Like you're really locked in on that website and you're trying to beat that guy on the #1 spot. Move on with your life. Move on with your life. What I do is I worry about my campaign and my campaign only. I don't really worry about what the competition's doing or how to fight for a certain placement. I will run the campaign, scale it as big as I can, put my bids to where it's profitable, and then move on, either to a new device or a new blacklist campaign. If you're doing whitelist, I would launch a blacklist. And then I start scaling to different devices, or maybe you can go to other campaigns. But I would encourage you to stop. Like, the question is, maybe I'm wrong, but it sounds to me like you want to find a way to get the rewards without risking any cash, and that's not how the game works. You have to launch a blacklist campaign, and you're going to have to lose some money when you launch it. But the good news is, if your whitelist is making any money at all, and if you see a guy that has a widget on lockdown, take his ads and try to spread it around a little bit. Find your place in that campaign or in that traffic source or in that topic. You might not be able to take over that certain widget. And that's why, like, I think a whitelist campaign is a great way to start and run for maybe 2 weeks. But at some point, you're going to have to run a bigger campaign, or you're just going to be stuck where you are forever. So my encouragement would be, take what you've learned. You don't want to bid that $5 for one widget. That's crazy. And try to make your campaign bigger. Focus less on the minutia and more on the overall picture. What kind of strategy would you implement today on Rev content in the US budget? I would research my campaigns. Let me slow that down. What kind of a strategy would you implement today on Rev content if you had a smaller budget in the US? I would do exactly what I've recommended in the past. I would research the hell out of some offers, because you can't get it wrong if you have a small budget. You need to pick wisely. I would test 3 and then choose the best one and try to optimize it into profitability. If that didn't work, I would test 3 more, understanding that the testing phase is going to lose money. And if you accept that you're going to lose some money, it makes it easier to lose money. So I hope that helps. I really don't have an answer for you on how to drop guys off of placement, battle replacement. I don't know that that's really possible. If he's there and he's been there a long time, my advice would be do what he's doing. And if you can't beat him, move on to another widget or another website, another topic, something like that. Scale, go bigger. Could you provide some insight into what top Facebook folks are doing these days? Well, I'm not running on Facebook right now, but the biggest things that I've heard about is obviously e-commerce. If you look at Facebook, you'll see the ads. Like, there's a million guys doing Shopify stores to little products. One of the main ones I'm seeing now are watches. There's like a watch club type of thing, or a watch type of thing that's really big. Another thing is the VSLs. The white hat VSLs are huge. I think this is August. So 2 months ago, a guy that I know did he ran one of the biggest campaigns I've heard of in a long time. Multiple millions profit or revenue in a month running a white hat VSL with no cloaker. And this was, I don't want to give away what he's doing, but it was in the, which one was this? It was in the health category. So you could look into the health related VSLs. There's 100 of them. Ads for Dough has them. Software Projects has a few. ClickBank has a few. Oasis Ads has them. W4 has them. ClickBooth has them. And these VSLs that people are, in most cases, direct linking to. And that's why VSLs are good for Facebook, because you don't have to worry about getting your landing page approved. If they like your ad and they like the offer, you're done. So that's what I would encourage you is e-commerce, Shopify type stuff, or white hat health and finance related VSLs. We got to go quick now because we're 10 after and I got to go. I have heard that fresh creatives keep the campaign going. However, I have also heard that changing things can break a campaign. Lazi, what's up, man? And that's true. Both are true. In short, my question is, after optimizing a campaign and profits are coming in, how do you suggest campaign or scaling? If you've optimized it into profits, my recommendation is don't maintain it. Leave it alone. Move on to the next step, whether that's landing pages, testing offers, or testing new devices, new geos, or even testing new campaigns. On Rev Content, if you've optimized the campaign and you've added all the topics you can add and you've blacked out all the bad widgets you can block out, it's time to move on. Don't worry about maintaining that campaign. If you do anything, wait until a campaign dies. Like if it goes from spending 800 a day to 700, don't worry about it. To 600, don't worry about it. To 400, okay. 300, maybe you need a new ad. Upload 2 new versions of the ad, see what happens. But the main goal is to like optimize it, get it steady, and move on. If, and it's a big if your ad burns out, sometimes ads don't burn out, but if it burns out, replace it with a new version of itself, and then maybe a twist, change some words around, maybe brighten the image, change it up a little bit, and then a new idea completely. And then keep an eye on it, because when you quote unquote maintain a working campaign, when you upload new ads, you run the risk of the new ads not working, right? So if you've been running the campaign and not really worrying about it, then you upload 3-4 new ads, worry about it. Like put it on your to-do list in the morning to check that damn campaign and make sure that those ads aren't spending out of control and losing money. But after you've optimized the campaign and profits are coming in, leave it alone, move on to the next part of the process. Landing page optimization, offer optimization, geo scaling, device operating system scaling, and other network scaling. I kind of covered that in the beginning, so I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense. We got 2 more to go, or a few more to go. So let's say blacklisting widget in a campaign, and it's only targeting tablets. If you want to make a duplicate blacklist campaign targeting mobile, can you use the same widget block list that you accumulate from the tablet's blacklist campaign? No. You can't. You can, but you run the risk. I like to start everyone from scratch. And you have 2 options. You can obviously bring your whitelist, your blacklist list of bad widget IDs to the new campaign and just start with those in there. But what you run the risk of is missing a lot of opportunities, because just because a widget ID doesn't work on tablet doesn't mean it won't work on mobile. Maybe they just have terrible tablet traffic and they have a great mobile traffic. But as you mentioned, sometimes a widget, if it's a really bad bot widget, you can port it over to the new campaign and maybe save yourself some money, maybe. But what I usually do, and I can only recommend what I do, is I usually start from scratch. I'll launch it, I'll watch it the same way, and I'll start the process over. I'll start losing money. Because I think what your fear is, you want to start a mobile campaign now that doesn't lose any money. But you have to get that out of your head. If the tablet campaign's working, you're going to launch mobile and it's going to lose money. And it's going to be a bloodbath until you figure it out. And then if you figure it out, you get that in profits, then you go to desktop and it's going to be a bloodbath. And it's like the more precautions you take in the beginning might help you, but it might also hurt you. So if you wanted to get really fancy and really know, the best way to find out is to test it. Launch 2 mobile campaigns. One with the bad widgets added and one without the bad widgets added. Run them for a week. See which one does the best, and that becomes the new rule for you, okay? That's the most thorough answer I can give you. Because otherwise, you're just kind of guessing. You can try it if you want, but what I would do, if it was me, like this is how I get all my answers. I try it, and then I see what happens, and that's the answer. That's the easiest way to know for sure. So that's what I would recommend. Let's see, Brandon got a job as a media buyer. Cool, congrats, brother. But they don't do CPA. They do more of an arbitrage where they just want to get page impressions. What I would like to know is, how does this relate to normal CPA conversion type media buying? Do we apply the same lessons we learned inside the society? We focus mainly on Taboola and Outbrain. Cool. Yeah, so it's pretty much the same game. The difference is that instead of getting sales, you just want to keep people on your website. You want to keep clicking ads. So we did a breakdown of arbitrage, which is what I call this business model, where you're not really selling products, you're just selling ad impressions. It's in the forum. It breaks down how the entire thing works, and it shows you how to create what people are using right now, which is the slideshow. So you have a crazy ad that says, you're never going to believe what Paris Hilton's boobs had written on them or whatever. And then they click the ad, and there's nothing about Paris Hilton. It's kind of a bait and switch. But then you go to a slide, a viewfinder type of slider where it's next, 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 next. And what people do is, and here's some knowledge for you that I'll drop, is you want to figure out how many page views you need to happen in order for you to be profitable. Like, for example, some people will find that if someone clicks the next button 2 times, they lose money. At 3 times, they break even because the ads refresh each time. You're getting paid per impression instead of per sale. So they need those ads to refresh 3 times to break even. At 6 page refreshes, they get to whatever their goal, 60% ROI, let's say, is. So now you know that your metric for your ads, instead of is it making sales, it's is it keeping people on the website for 6 click-throughs. If not, you might need a new ad. And then once you find an ad that gets people really invested in clicking through the website, is the website, and the only goal is to get people to click the next button one more time. A really cool thing that I've seen people do, and I don't know what business your boss is in, but here's a really cool way that they've got me with it. And when people get me, I write it down and remember it for later. But instead of showing like images of celebrity hairstyles gone wrong or whatever, they would tell a story, a single story. So the ad would be like, a husky dog got loose in the ice and you never will believe what happened next. So instead of clicking to a page and it shows a bunch of different pictures of dogs, they would tell a story with 1 paragraph on each page. And so you really wanted to know what happened to this dog after it went out in the ice. So you click next, you read that to go, the dog walked out of the house and smelled the snow and it knew something was wrong. The owners heard it whining. Then you have to click next to continue the story. And as the dog, so the owner opened the door and the dog bolted out and you won't believe what happened next. So they click next and they continue the story. So they keep you going. They drag you on for like 18 slides to find out that the dog found his ball in the snow, and you go, oh my God, I can't believe I just nexted all through that. But by then it's too late. They've already made the money and they're on to the next guy. So that's a cool way to do it. If you pitch this to your boss, they'll think you're a genius. Instead of doing slideshows, tell them to tell stories and probably give you a promotion immediately. Hope that helps, man. But it's just a different way of thinking. It's about, instead of how do I make them buy, how do I make them click? That's the question you want to ask, is how do I make them click next? What would make someone click next? And you can even use the story like, and you're never going to believe what the dog saw outside. And then they go to the next, and he goes, there was a red thing in the snow, and you're never going to believe what happened when he ran towards it. And as he ran towards it, a tree fell over, and you're never going to believe what was just on the other side of the tree, and you can keep doing that forever. It's hilarious. It's actually kind of a fun way to do things if you can make it work. And then the final question is from Z Bull, and looks like you joined 8 days ago. Glad to have you. And he wants to know, when is your training course coming out? And I don't have an exact date for that yet, but it will come. I put up the list, not because I had a product to sell, created and ready to go. I put up the list so that when the product is ready, I'll have people that want to buy it in one place, and I can just go, hey guys, it's ready. So I would say, don't quote on this, but I would say it will be this year. That's as close as I can come to right now. And there will be some updates to Mad Society before the end of the year as well. And it's going to be a pretty fun thing that we're going to be doing. So anyway, sorry, I don't have an answer for you, but as soon as I know the answer when the course is going to launch, I will email that list and I'll post it in Mad Society, and you guys will obviously get some sort of a coupon code or a discount for the course as well, which will be good because the course won't be cheap. So that's it, man. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Well, we went 20 minutes over, but who cares? We're having fun talking shop. And for my man who asked about productivity, I just kept you busy for an hour and 20 minutes. Now the question is, and I'm going to do this as well. Let me say this before we close, and then we'll close it down. The question is, while we were on this call and while you were focused 100% of questions, hopefully you're not checking stats and changing things in the background. While you were away, did things on your campaign get better or worse or the same? If it's the same, that's great. That means your campaign doesn't need you. If things improved, maybe you made a few sales and made $100 in the last hour, maybe your campaign doesn't need you. Keep that in mind. Use it as a lesson. Or maybe you lost $20 million. If that happened, never tune into one of these again. Anyway, man, that's it. Water cheers to everyone out there. Boom, we did it again. If you have follow-up questions, you can post them in the forum, and I'll try to get to them when I can. But it'll be today because I'm burned out. This light up here is getting hot, and for some reason, just talking for an hour really burns you out. So thanks for tuning in. Everyone stand up, close down your thing, and let's take a quick break before you get back to it. Have something to eat, go outside and see the sun. And then we can talk about it in the forum. As always, if you have other questions, post them in the forum. That's what it's for. Post your questions, you get answers. It's ridiculous to be able to have that kind of access for $99 a month. You would normally have to hire someone and pay them, what, 5 G's a month at a minimum to get answers to questions like this. Use the resource as it's meant to be used. And thanks to everybody for tuning in. Coach Joe, what's up, Coach? We got Mark. Shout out to Sarah. Everybody's throwing in their thank yous and saying goodbye. Great having you, man. This is a good one. This is a good one. If you have anything, if you just want to say thank you or say what's up, post it in the comments of this Q&A thread. And I'll post the replay almost immediately. And there might be some glitches in the replay. We've been having some playback issues with skipping and stuff. Not sure why, but hopefully it won't do it too badly. And that's it, man. I will see you guys next time. And as always, I will see you. Rob says he campaign Malta already. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I do. When someone tells me something, I launch it immediately. So I doubt you really did it, but that's hilarious. All right. Hey, Renee. See you guys bright and early in the future. And scene.